We all love solving riddles and pushing the limits of logic. This is why we want to share with you the best riddles that we found on the internet. To play this game, you will have to pause this video after every question so you will have time to think before listening to the answer. Make sure you watch this video until the end if you want to try and solve the riddle that is so difficult that people named it after one of the smartest men in the world. If you love riddles as much as we do, don't forget to subscribe and please give this video a big thumbs up. Today, we are showing you 10 mystery riddles that will blow your mind. Can you solve them? The psychopath. Some people believe that only psychopaths know the answer to this riddle. This is why you should ask this question to your friends to make sure that you are safe when you are home alone with them. It all starts with a girl who was at the funeral of her own mother. She met a guy that she didn't know and thought that he was really cute. The girl believed that he was the love of her life, and she immediately fell in love with him. But a tragedy happened 1 week after when her sister was murdered. Who do you think was the killer? Make sure you pause this video to think about this. If you already know the answer, that's not a good sign. Are you ready? The stranger had nothing to do with it. The girl actually killed her sister, and the reason why she did this was that she wanted to see that cute guy again. She didn't have time to ask for his name or his phone number, but she thought that she would have the chance to see him again at another funeral. As he knew her mother, he probably knew her sister too. We just hope that the guy knows how to run, because you should never date a dangerous woman like her. Actually, don't worry if you found the answer. It takes much more than a riddle to be a psychopath.
Hey guys, we are so excited to announce we are producing our own original content. Head over to The Trendy for the best DIYs, fashion tips, makeup hacks, and so much more. We are sure you're going to love it. And be sure to let us know what you think in the comment section. We love to hear from you. See you there.
The drink. We just wanted to have fun with the first riddle, but now let's start with an easy one. Two girlfriends went to a bar and asked for a drink. They both ordered an iced tea. One of the girls drank it really fast, while the other one took more time to enjoy her drink. But shortly after, only one of them was dead. After she went to the hospital, people found out that she was poisoned. No one other than the barmaid touched their drinks during that night, and the girl who survived says that she would never kill her friend because she loved her so much. What do you think happened? A real detective wouldn't even have to look at the cameras or analyze the drinks to solve this case. And we know that you can do this too. This is why we want you to take the time that you need to think about this. Do you have an answer? Great! Let's hear the truth about this story. The poison was actually in the ice. The first girl drank her iced tea really fast, so it didn't have time to melt. But the other girl took her time, so the poison was released in the drink. The story doesn't tell why someone would put poison in the ice, but we think that they could possibly be psychopaths too. The suicide. After watching this video, you will become a real detective. And to practice, we have another riddle for you. If you watch TV series, you know that killers often make a murder look like a suicide. This is what happened in that case. Police officers found a dead man with a cassette recorder in one hand and a gun in the other. They pressed the play button on the cassette and heard the man saying that he had nothing else to live for, and that he couldn't do this anymore. Then, we heard the gunshot in the recording. After listening to this, the detective immediately knew that it was not a suicide, but that someone else actually killed the man. So this case is solved, but we want you to tell us why they knew that it was a murder. We'll let you think about it for a moment. If we can give you only one clue, it's that the older people will probably think that it's easier to solve this riddle. Did you get it? If not, we'll tell you the answer. The detective knew it was a murder because when he pressed the play button, he immediately listened to the recording. It seems that someone had the time to rewind the cassette tape, which would be impossible if the man was dead. That was a hard one, but we love the answer. The murder. Are you ready to solve another crime? We think that you'll have the skills that it takes to solve this murder, detective. It all starts with a rich man who was found dead in his home on a Sunday morning. His wife immediately called the police, and a detective came to the house to investigate. He asked questions to the wife and all the people who worked there. They all had alibis. The wife said that she was sleeping when it happened. The butler said that he was cleaning the house. The gardener was picking up some vegetables, the maid was getting the mail, and the cook was preparing the breakfast. When we heard this, the detective immediately knew who the killer was. Can you find out who was lying? We'll give you some time to think about this. You might think that you don't have enough information, but when you hear the answer, you'll know that it was actually really easy. Are you ready? One of the alibis doesn't make sense, and the information that you needed was actually at the beginning of the story. The maid said that she was getting the mail, but everyone knows that the mail is not delivered on Sunday. It means that she was the liar. If you ever try to kill someone, at least try to think about a better story. Actually, just don't commit a crime, please. The crime scene. Things are getting a little dark, but this one is going to be our last crime. And you need to get the answer if you want to prove that you are a true detective. It all starts with a man who murdered his wife in his car in the middle of nowhere. He threw the body out of the car while making sure that he left no fingerprints. He hid the weapon where he knew that no one would find it, and he made sure that no one would see him. Then he took his car and went back home. Shortly after, the police called him to say that his wife was murdered and that he needed to join them at the crime scene. The man wanted to make sure that he looks like a husband who cared for his wife, so he said that he would be there and immediately hung up to go there as fast as possible. But when he arrived at the crime scene, he was immediately arrested. How did they know he was the murderer? We'll let you think about that for a moment. The reason why the police officers knew that the husband was the murderer is that he didn't even ask where the crime scene was. When they saw that he came to the right place, they knew that they needed to arrest him. We love that riddle. The bridge. We don't want to kill any more people for the rest of the video, so let's try another kind of riddle. This time, you will need to be good at math, but don't worry, it is mostly about logic. Aiden, Brandon, Charlotte, and Dave had to cross an old wooden bridge at night. The bridge is so weak that it can only carry 2 people at the same time, and they have to stay together. They also need to carry a flashlight on each crossing, but they only have one, so they will have to come back with it to give it to the others. They have different fitness levels, so Aiden can cross the bridge in 1 minute, Brandon can cross the bridge in 2 minutes, Charlotte in 5 minutes, and Dave in 10 minutes. Aiden, the leader of the group, thinks about this and says that they can cross the bridge in 17 minutes. How are they going to do that? This time, we think that you will really need to stop the video to think about this, even if you are really smart. Do you want the answer? Here it is. Aiden will have to cross the bridge with Brandon. Then he comes back with the flashlight. Charlotte and Dave cross the bridge together. Then Brandon, who is already waiting on the other side, comes back with the flashlight to give to Aiden. Then the 2 come back together. Did you figure that out? It was a hard one. The stranger. This one is a little scary, and this is why we love it. But don't worry, no one ends up dead this time. It is a short story of a woman sitting alone in her hotel room. She hears a knock at the door. She answers without opening the door and sees a man that she has never seen before through the peephole. He says that he is sorry because he thought that it was his room. He then goes down the hallway and takes the elevator. As soon as he is gone, the woman immediately calls the security. But why did she do that? Most people would think that the man was simply a little lost. So why was she scared of him? We'll give you some time to think about this weird story before we reveal the answer. Are you ready? Okay, let's go. The reason why the woman called the security is that the man lied to her. No one knocks at their own hotel room door. If he tried to open it, it would be another story. But knocking at the door just doesn't make sense. We think that this man realized that the woman wasn't going to be a good victim when she refused to open the door. That's why he gave up, and that's also why you should never open the door to a stranger. The suspect. This time, we already caught the suspect, and we have to find out if he is guilty or not. This is what happens in court. This man was accused of killing his wife, but no one really knew if he did it or not. This is why the man's lawyer decided to surprise everyone to make sure that he was going to win the case. He said that the wife actually just disappeared and she was going to come out of the door in 30 seconds. People turned to the doors, and they waited for a few minutes while the defendants stared at the jury. The wife didn't come, but the lawyer said that if they were sure that the man killed his wife, no one would have looked at the door, and the husband can't go to jail if they are not sure that he is the murderer. but the jury immediately decided that he was guilty anyway. Do you know why? We'll give you some time to figure out the answer. Or you can also stop the video. And there we go. They understood that the husband was the murderer because he was the only one who didn't look at the door. He knew that his wife would never come back because he killed her. We think that the judge would make a really good detective. The prisoner. What happens when you commit a crime? You have to go to prison. However, this man was not guilty, and he wanted to escape to avoid the death penalty. This is why we need to help him because he only has a few minutes left to live. There are 2 guards in front of him. One of them tells him that if he tells the truth, he is going to be hanged. The other says that if he lies, he is going to die in the electric chair. The man can only make one statement. What can he say to survive? We'll let you have some time to think about this one. But don't worry that you have to think fast because this is a matter of life and death. Don't be too stressed either because it won't help you. So let's just stop the video for a moment. Now, are you ready to get the answer? The only thing that the man has to say is that he will die in the electric chair. If it is the truth, he should actually be hanged, so it won't work. And if it's a lie, he should die in the electric chair. But the statement wouldn't be a lie anymore. This is why being the smartest is actually better than being the strongest. Did you get this one? Einstein's riddle. And last but not least is the famous Einstein riddle. You will need a piece of paper for this one because it is really complicated. There are 5 houses in 5 different colors in a row. A person with a different nationality lives in each house, and they drink a certain type of beverage, smoke a certain brand of cigar, and keep a certain pet. You will have access to 15 facts to solve this riddle. The Brit lives in the red house. The Swede keeps dogs as pets. The Dane drinks tea. The green house is on the immediate left of the White House. The greenhouse's owner drinks coffee. The owner, who smokes Pall Mall, rears birds. The owner of the yellow house smokes Dunhill. The owner, living in the center house, drinks milk. The Norwegian lives in the first house. The owner who smokes blends lives next to the one who keeps cats. The owner who keeps the horse lives next to the one who smokes Dunhill. The owner who smokes Blue Masters drinks beer. The German smokes Prince. The Norwegian lives next to the blue house. The owner who smokes blends lives next to the one who drinks water. Who owns the fish? We won't give you the answer this time, but we want you to write it in the comment section down below. Let's see who is smarter than Einstein. And that's it for 10 mystery riddles that will blow your mind. For more spooky stories like this, make sure you watch 10 Epic Kids Costume Ideas for Halloween. Thanks for watching and see you next time.